The screens in the science lab of KSS Harmony blinked with strange patterns. Dr. Do-Young Kim rubbed his tired eyes and looked at them again. For 6 years, he had watched these screens show nothing but normal space noise. But today was different. Captain Park to the science lab. Please, he called through the ship's communication system. His voice was calm, but his hand shook as he typed on his keyboard. Captain Ji-Woo Park walked into the lab 5 minutes later. She was tall for a Korean woman, with short black hair and a clean white uniform. What did you find, Dr. Kim? Look at this signal, Captain. Do-Young pointed to the main screen. It's not random. It repeats every 12 seconds, and it's getting stronger. The captain leaned closer to the screen. The pattern looked like a dance of blue light. Could it be from Earth? No. Do-Young shook his head. The signal is coming from the wrong direction, and it's like nothing we've seen before. Captain Park pressed a button on the wall. All senior officers to the meeting room. Now, 20 minutes later, the ship's 6 senior officers sat around the meeting table. The blue pattern now showed on the big screen behind them. The signal is artificial, Do-Young explained to everyone. Someone made it, someone smart, and they're getting closer. Security Chief Tae Kang spoke up. Could they be dangerous? Her hand rested near her weapon, as always. We don't know, Captain Park said, but we are the first Korean deep space ship. We represent Earth. We need to be ready for anything. Suddenly, the ship's lights turned red. A loud alarm rang through the halls. Captain, the young officer at communications shouted through the speaker. A ship just appeared on our sensors. It's huge. Everyone ran to the bridge. Through the main window, they saw it. A massive ship, 3 times bigger than the Harmony, hung in space like a dark cloud. Its surface looked rough, like shark skin. They're sending us a message, the communications officer said. It's in English. Put it on speakers, Captain Park ordered. A deep voice filled the bridge. It sounded almost like a growl. Human vessel. We are the Valdari. We have watched your kind for many years. You interest us. You were prey species once. Now you travel between stars. We would speak with you. The bridge fell silent. Captain Park stood straight and took a deep breath. Valdari vessel, I am Captain Ji-Woo Park of the KSS Harmony. We represent the Korean Space Force and Earth. We welcome peaceful contact. The voice came back. Peaceful? How strange. Your kind surprises us. Most prey species run when they see us. You stand your ground. Do-Young looked at his screens and gasped. Captain, their ship, the metal is alive. It's growing and changing shape. They all watched as the alien ship's surface moved like waves in water. It was beautiful and scary at the same time. We will send a small ship to meet you, the Valdari said. Do not fear. We do not hunt those who show courage. Captain Park looked at her crew. They all waited for her decision. Earth's first contact with alien life was about to happen, and it was up to them to handle it right. We accept, she said firmly. We will prepare to meet you. As a small ship launched from the Valdari vessel, Do-Young whispered to himself, the history books will remember this day. The day humanity met the galaxy's apex predators. The small ship grew larger in their view. Soon, they would meet creatures that saw humans as prey. But Captain Park stood calm. Humans had their own strength. They had come far from their days as prey. Now it was time to show the galaxy what humanity could do. The space station New Seoul shone like a silver star against the dark sky. Inside, Ambassador Hae-Newell Lee walked through the main hall, checking every detail. Tonight would change human history. Ambassador, the Valdari ship is 30 minutes away, a young officer reported. Newell nodded. Is the dining room ready? Yes, Ambassador. Chef Sunmai has prepared everything according to your instructions. The dining room was the station's pride. Large windows showed Earth below, and the tables were set with Korea's finest dishes. But these were no ordinary dinner guests. Security Chief Tahi Kang stood by the door, looking worried. Ambassador, are you sure about this? The Valdari are predators. Having dinner with them is like having dinner with tigers. Sometimes the best way to make peace is to share a meal, Haynul said. She had spent 20 years in diplomacy, but never with aliens who saw humans as food. The station's lights flashed. Valdari ship approaching, the computer announced. Through the windows, they watched the alien ship dock. It was smaller than the first one they met, but still impressive. Its surface moved like living metal. They're coming through the airlock, Tahi reported. Her security team stood ready, weapons hidden but close. The doors opened. 3 Valdari walked in. They were tall, with gray skin that looked like armor. Their eyes glowed yellow, and sharp teeth showed when they spoke. The leader wore something like a silver cape. I am Mentor Rakesh of the Valdari, the leader said. His voice was deep but clear. We accept your strange invitation to share food. Hanul bowed politely. Welcome to New Seoul Station. I am Ambassador Lee. We are honored by your presence. The Valdari looked around the room, their glowing eyes taking in everything. You prepare food? Rakesh asked. You do not hunt and eat immediately. We believe food is more than just eating, Haynul explained. It is how we connect, how we make peace. The Valdari whispered among themselves. Then Rakesh spoke again. On our world, sharing a kill means great trust. You trust us to sit at your table. We do, Haynul said firmly. Please, join us. The Valdari sat down, looking awkward in chairs made for humans. Chef Sun Mai came out, pushing a cart with covered dishes. We have prepared a special menu, Haynul said. Some dishes are cooked, others raw, to honor both our cultures. Sun Mai lifted the first cover. The smell of perfectly grilled beef filled the room. The Valdari's eyes widened. You change meat with heat, one of them asked. Why? It brings out new flavors, Sun Mai explained. It's an art we developed over thousands of years. Rakesh leaned forward. Your species is full of surprises. You were prey, yet you learned to master fire, to change food itself. He picked up a piece of meat with his clawed hands. Perhaps this is why you survived. You think differently than other prey species. Hanul watched as the Valdari tried the food. Their expressions changed from suspicious to curious to interested. This is pleasant, Rakesh said. Different from fresh kill, but good. You humans are strange. You take what makes you vulnerable, your lack of natural weapons, and turn it into strength. That is what humans do best, Haynul said. We adapt. We learn. We turn weaknesses into strengths. As they ate, the tension in the room slowly faded. The Valdari asked questions about cooking, about human history. They seemed especially interested in how humans had survived without claws or sharp teeth. By the end of the meal, even Security Chief Tahi had relaxed a little. The Valdari weren't just predators anymore. They were guests, sharing stories and food under Earth's light. Perhaps, Rakesh said as the meal ended, there is more than one way to be strong in this galaxy. Chef Sun Mai Choi stood in her kitchen aboard New Seoul Station, looking at the research data on her tablet. For 3 weeks, she had studied everything they knew about Valdari biology. Now it was time to put that knowledge to use. They're coming back tomorrow, she said to her assistant. And this time, they're bringing their food scientists. The kitchen was huge, filled with both traditional Korean cooking tools and modern equipment. Pots of various sizes hung from the ceiling. Screens on the walls showed temperatures, cooking times, and chemical readings. Dr. Kim sent new information about their taste buds, her assistant said, holding up another tablet. The Valdari can taste things we can't even smell. Sun Mai walked to a special cooler in the corner. Inside were samples of Valdari food brought from their ship. The meat looked strange, but she had worked with stranger things. Look at this, she said, picking up a piece of alien meat. They never cook it. They think heat destroys food. But they're wrong. She placed the meat on her cutting board. With careful hands, she cut it into thin slices. Humans learned long ago that fire doesn't just destroy. It creates. It changes. It makes new flavors. The door opened, and Ambassador Hainul walked in. "Chef Sun Mai, how are the preparations going?" "Come see this," Sun Mai said with excitement. She put a slice of the alien meat in a special machine. "This analyzes the meat's structure. And look what happens when we heat it slowly." They watched the screen as the meat's molecules changed. New compounds formed. New smells appeared. "The Valderi think they know everything about hunting and eating," Sun Mai explained. But they missed something important. Cooking isn't just about making food safe. It's about science, chemistry, art. She took another piece of meat and put it on a hot stone. The meat sizzled. A new smell filled the kitchen, rich and interesting. Even the ambassador looked surprised. "That smells amazing," Hainul said. "How did you do it?" "I studied their biology, their food, their hunting patterns. Then I thought, what if we show them that humans don't just adapt to survive? We adapt to make things better." Sun Lei picked up some Korean spices. These spices evolved to keep insects away from plants. But humans found they could make food taste wonderful. "We took nature's weapons and turned them into something beautiful." She worked quickly, preparing different dishes. Some used Valderi meat with earth spices. Others combined earth food with Valderi cooking styles. Each dish told a story of how humans and Valderi could learn from each other. "Tomorrow," she said, "I will show them that cooking is its own kind of hunting. We hunt for new tastes, new experiences, new ways to bring people together." Ambassador Hainul watched as Sun Mai prepared more dishes. "You might be our secret weapon, chef. The Valderi respect hunting skill. But maybe we can show them there's more than one way to hunt." Late that night, Sun Mai still worked in her kitchen. She wrote down recipes, tested temperatures, and adjusted spices. On a big screen, she watched videos of Valderi eating habits, learning their ways. "Humans survived because we learned to cook," she said to herself. "We learned to make food better, safer, more interesting. Tomorrow, we'll show the galaxy's greatest predators that sometimes the best hunters work in kitchens." She looked at her finished dishes, each one a perfect mix of Earth and Valderi styles. Tomorrow would be more than just another diplomatic meeting. It would be a feast that could change how two species saw each other forever. Cultural attaché Min Ho-yoon stood before the large screen in New Seoul Station's meeting room. The Valderi delegation sat on one side of the table, while human officials sat on the other. Behind him, images of ancient human history played on the screen. "This is how we lived 100,000 years ago," Min Ho said, pointing to an image of early humans with simple spears. "We were not the strongest animals. Not the fastest, not the biggest. Many predators hunted us." Mentor Rakesh leaned forward, his yellow eyes fixed on the screen. "Yet you survived. How?" Min Ho changed the image. Now it showed ancient humans hunting together in groups. "We learned to work together. We made tools. We shared knowledge." "Tools are not teeth or claws," one of the Valderi scientists said. "How can they be enough?" Min Ho smiled and pressed a button. The screen showed humans taking down a mammoth using spears and teamwork. "We didn't need to be stronger. We became smarter." He walked to a table where old human tools lay. He picked up a stone axe. This simple tool changed everything. With it, we could cut meat, break bones, shape wood. We could hunt animals bigger and stronger than us. The Valderi whispered among themselves. Rakesh picked up the stone axe, studying it with his sharp eyes. "So simple, yet so useful," he said. "But our greatest weapon wasn't tools," Min Ho continued. "It was this." He tapped his head. "Our minds. We learned to think ahead, to plan, to remember and share what we learned." The screen changed again, showing how humans developed over time. Fire, farming, cities, spaceships. "Your evolution is unusual," Rakesh said, Most prey species only learn to hide better, to run faster. You learn to change your world instead. Minho nodded. We had to. We couldn't outrun the fastest predators. We couldn't outfight the strongest ones. So we learned new ways to survive. He showed them more images. Humans building shelters, making clothes, cooking food. Each time we solved a problem, we grew stronger. Not in our bodies, but in our minds and our tools. Like the cooking thing, another Valderi said. You use fire to make food better, not just to stay warm. Yes, Minho agreed. Everything we couldn't do naturally, we learned to do with tools and knowledge. We turned our weaknesses into reasons to become stronger in different ways. The Valderi seemed fascinated. They asked many questions about human history. How did humans learn to make fire? How did they teach their young? How did they remember things before writing? As they talked, Chef Sun Mei brought in some traditional Korean snacks. The Valderi tried them carefully, their expressions showing surprise at the new tastes. Your history tastes good, Rakesh said, making everyone laugh. You put your story into your food. Minho smiled. Food, tools, language, art, they're all part of how we survived. We didn't just adapt our bodies, we adapted everything around us. At the end of the presentation, Rakesh stood up. His tall form cast a shadow in the room's light. We Valderi always thought being prey meant being weak. But you humans, you turned being prey into a reason to become strong in new ways. Perhaps we have much to learn from each other. Minho looked at the ancient tools on the table, then at the spaceships visible through the window. That's another human strength, he said. We never stop learning, never stop growing, never stop finding new ways to become better. Red lights flashed through New Seoul Station. Captain Ji Woo Park ran to the command center, her heart beating fast. On the main screen, a distress signal blinked from the research ship Morning Calm. Report, she ordered as she entered the room. A Valderi ship attacked our research vessel, Security Chief Tahi said. Not one of the diplomatic ships. This one is different. Smaller. Faster. Ambassador Hay Newell turned from her conversation with Mentor Rakesh. The tall Valderi looked angry, his yellow eyes glowing brighter than usual. This is not our way, Rakesh growled. These are rogues. Young hunters who reject our laws. They think humans are still proper prey. Captain Park studied the star map. The Morning Calm's signal was moving fast, trying to escape the attack. How many people on board? 12 scientists, Tahi answered. They were studying space minerals. Jai Wu touched the screen, calculating distances. We can't catch them with speed alone. The rogue ship is too fast. She smiled slightly. But maybe we don't need to be faster. She turned to her crew. Humans were never the fastest hunters. We were the smartest ones. Time to prove it. The captain pulled up a map of the solar system. Look here. The Morning Calm is running toward the asteroid belt. Perfect. Mentor Rakesh watched with interest as Jiwoo explained her plan. The humans worked quickly, setting up a trap that would make their ancient hunting ancestors proud. Morning Calm, this is Captain Park, Jiwoo said into the communication system. Keep going toward the asteroids. Trust us. The research ship's captain responded, voice shaking but determined. Understood. Jiwoo turned to her weapons officer. Launch the smart mines. Scatter pattern delta. Small objects shot out from New Seoul Station, disappearing into space. They looked like simple rocks, but each one carried advanced sensors and small engines. Now we wait, Jiwoo said. Like our ancestors did when they dug pit traps for larger predators. The rogue Valderi ship chased the Morning Calm into the asteroid field. They didn't notice the small, quiet objects floating among the rocks. They didn't see the trap until it was too late. The smart mines activated. Each one fired tiny rockets, creating a net of energy between them. The rogue ship flew right into it. Their engines are caught, Tahi reported. They're trapped. Mentor Rakesh made a sound that might have been a laugh. Clever. Very clever. You turned their hunting drive against them, made them chase their prey right into your trap. The morning calm escaped safely while KSS Harmony moved in to capture the rogue ship. The young Valdari hunters inside surrendered, shocked at being caught by what they thought was easy prey. You hunt like our ancestors did, Rakesh said to Captain Park. Not with strength, but with wisdom, with tools and planning. Even young fools like these can learn from such a lesson. Jae-woo nodded. Humans learned long ago that the strongest hunter isn't always the best hunter. Sometimes the best hunter is the one who thinks 3 steps ahead. Later, as they watched the rogue Valdari being taken into custody, Ambassador Hainul spoke quietly to the captain. You may have done more than save our research ship today. You showed them that humans can hunt successfully in space, just as we did on Earth. We're still what we always were, Jae-woo replied. Tool makers, problem solvers. We don't need to be the strongest species in space. We just need to be the smartest. Dr. Do-young Kim sat in his laboratory on New Seoul Station, surrounded by screens showing Valdari behavior patterns. For days, he had studied recordings of their movements, their hunting styles, and their reactions to humans. Now, finally, he understood something important. He pressed a button on his desk. Captain Park, Ambassador Lee, please come to the lab. I found something. When they arrived, Do-young pointed to his main screen. It showed 2 images, a Valdari hunting party and ancient humans hunting with spears. Look at the patterns, he said. The Valdari use much energy when they hunt. They run fast, fight hard, use their strength. But humans, he pointed to the other image. We use less energy. We plan. We wait. We make the prey come to us. Captain Ji-woo Park looked closely at the screen. Like we did with the rogue ship. Exactly, Do-young said. The Valdari respect strength, but they respect efficient hunting even more. And humans are the most efficient hunters in known space. He showed them more data. Charts compared how much energy different species used while hunting. The Valdari used the most. Humans used the least, but got the same results. This is why they find us so interesting, Do-young explained. We succeed without wasting energy, without using natural weapons. We think first, then act. Ambassador Hainul Lee nodded slowly. So when we trapped the rogue ship, we showed them perfect hunting efficiency. Do-young finished. Minimum energy, maximum results, just like our ancestors did. He pulled up new images on his screens. They showed Valdari watching Chef Sun Mi cook, their eyes full of interest. Even our cooking shows this, he said. We don't just eat food. We make it better, more nutritious, using less energy to digest it. Everything humans do is about getting the best results with the least waste. The door opened, and Mentor Rakesh walked in. The Valdari leader looked at the screens with interest. Your scientist understands, Rakesh said. We Valdari take pride in our strength, our natural weapons. But you humans, he touched the screen showing the ancient hunters. You found a better way. Do-young stood up straighter. We had to find a better way. We couldn't survive by being stronger, so we became smarter, more efficient. Rakesh made a sound that might have been approval. On our world, the greatest hunters are not always the strongest. They are the ones who waste nothing, who use their environment wisely, who think before they strike. Like humans, Captain Park said. Yes, Rakesh agreed. Like humans, your species hunts with your minds first, your bodies second. This is why you survived when other prey species died. This is why you now travel between stars. Do-young showed them one last image. It was a simple drawing comparing Valdari and human development over time. We took different paths to reach the stars, he said. The Valdari evolved to be perfect hunters. Humans evolved to be perfect planners. Both paths led to success. Ambassador Lee smiled. And now both paths have led us to each other. Yes, Rakesh said. Perhaps this is why we found each other, to learn that there is more than one way to be strong, more than one way to hunt among the stars. The main hall of New Seoul Station had been transformed. Traditional Korean decorations hung from the walls, and the air filled with amazing smells from Chef Sunmi's kitchen. Today was the grand feast, where humans would show the Valderi all their food preparation methods. Ambassador Hae-Nul Lee watched as more Valderi arrived. Not just the first group, but others who had heard about human cooking. They all wanted to learn about this strange way of hunting through preparation. "Welcome to the Feast of Predators," Hae-Nul announced when everyone had arrived. "Today, we will show you how humans hunt through time itself." The Valderi looked confused. Mentor Rakesh tilted his head. "Hunt through time. What does this mean?" Chef Sunmi stepped forward. Behind her, assistants wheeled in carts of food. "Let me show you something special," she said. She lifted a lid from a container. Inside was kimchi, perfectly aged. "This is fermented food," Sunmi explained. "We take vegetables, add special bacteria, and let time make them better. It is like hunting patience itself." The Valderi leaned forward, their sensitive noses taking in the strong smell. "You let bacteria hunt the food for you?" one asked. "Yes," Sunmi smiled. "Just as humans learn to make tools hunt for them, we learn to make time and nature hunt for us too." She moved to the next cart. "Here we have dishes from many Earth cultures. Each one shows a different way humans learn to prepare food." The feast began. Sunmi showed the Valderi how smoking preserved meat, how different cooking temperatures created new flavors, how fermentation made food both tasty and healthy. Each method told a story of human cleverness. "Your species turns everything into a tool," Rakesh said, watching a demonstration of meat being cured with salt. "Even salt crystals become your hunters." Cultural attaché Min Ho-yoon spoke up. "We learned early that anything could be a tool if you were clever enough. Even time itself." A group of Valderi scientists watched closely as Sunmi explained how humans had learned which plants were safe to eat, how they had turned poisonous plants into delicious food through careful preparation. "You hunt danger itself," one Valderi scientist said. "You take what could kill you and make it serve you instead." The feast continued for hours. The Valderi tried everything, asking questions about each dish. They were especially amazed by how humans had learned to combine different foods to make them more nutritious. "On our world, we eat what we kill," Rakesh said. "But you humans, you make your food hunt for you even after it is dead. The bacteria hunt, the salt hunts, the heat hunts. You have made the whole world your hunting pack." Ambassador Lee nodded. "That is the human way. We turn everything into an advantage. Even our weaknesses become strengths if we think about them differently." As the feast ended, the Valderi gathered around Chef Sunmi. They wanted to learn more about her cooking methods, about how humans had turned food preparation into an art and a science. "Perhaps," Rakesh said to Ambassador Lee, "we were wrong to think of humans as former prey. You were never prey. You were always hunters. You just hunted in ways we never imagined possible." The signing ceremony room on New Seoul Station gleamed under bright lights. Earth's flags hung on one wall, while Valderi symbols decorated the other. In the center, a large table held the Seoul-Valderi Accord, the first treaty between the two species. Ambassador Hae-Nul Lee stood at the front of the room, looking at the gathered crowd. Human diplomats sat on one side, their formal clothes neat and proper. Valderi delegates sat on the other, their natural armor shining under the lights. "1 month ago," Hae-Nul began, "the Valderi saw humans as former prey species. Today we sign an agreement as equals, as fellow hunters among the stars." Mentor Rakesh stepped forward. His voice was strong but friendly. "We came here thinking we would study an unusual prey species. Instead, we found hunters who match us in skill, though their methods are different." Captain Ji-woo Park and her crew sat in the front row. Dr. Do-Yum Kim had his data pad ready to record this historic moment. Chef Sunmi stood near the back, watching proudly. The Accord recognizes humans as fellow apex predators, Haynul continued, not because of physical strength, but because of mental strength, not because of natural weapons, but because of created ones. She picked up the special pen made for this ceremony. Its handle combined Korean metalwork with Valdari designs. This treaty does more than make peace. It promises that our species will learn from each other. Rakesh nodded. Humans will teach us their efficient hunting methods, their cooking arts, their way of turning time itself into a tool. We will teach humans about the stars, about other species, about the paths between worlds. The room was quiet as Haynul signed her name. The pen moved smoothly over the paper, writing in both Korean and Valdari script. Then Rakesh stepped forward to add his mark. To celebrate this moment, Haynul announced, "We have prepared a special meal, one that honors both our ways." The side doors opened. Chef Sunmi's assistants brought in the feast. Some dishes were cooked in human ways, full of complex flavors and spices. Others were prepared in Valdari style, showing respect for their traditions. As everyone shared the meal, Captain Park spoke quietly with mentor Rakesh. "A month ago, you called us prey. Now you call us fellow hunters. What changed your mind?" Rakesh looked at his plate, where human and Valdari food sat together. "We learned that hunting has many forms. The Valdari hunt with claws and strength. Humans hunt with minds and tools. Both ways are powerful." Dr. Do Kim raised his glass in a toast. "To two species who found each other among the stars. May we hunt together, learn together, and grow together." Everyone in the room, human and Valdari alike, raised their glasses. The light caught them, making them shine like stars. As the celebration continued, Ambassador Lee looked out the window at Earth below. Somewhere down there, ancient humans had first learned to use tools, to cook food, to turn weaknesses into strengths. Now their descendants had shown the galaxy that humanity's greatest strength was not in their muscles or teeth, but in their minds and hearts. "We have come so far," she whispered to herself, "from running from predators to sharing meals with them, from making simple tools to building starships. And this is just the beginning."